What a game we have just been treated to. Inter Milan, Barcelona, I tip my cap to you. What a game, what a semi-final, what a tie. It ends 7-6 on aggregate. Inter Milan running out as 4-3 winners on the night. And listen, you can't have any arguments about who won, who lost. You just got to appreciate good football. You have to appreciate good football. Two quality matches. I said after the 3-3 in the new camp that it's not going to get much better than this. You know, we've got a lot of excitement from this game. The footballing gods have given us more than enough. We're good. Clearly not. We needed a double dose and we got that. And I'm incredibly pleased with the football that we got today. Yes, some aspects of the football were less than desirable, and we'll get into that, but you've got to tip your cap off. I'm going to give a quick rundown of the game. Firstly, starting off with Lautaro Martínez, and his goal opened the scoring. Brilliant work in the midfield from Inter Milan, winning the ball and quickly advancing it. Dumfries, who was essentially the player of the match last game with Yamal, finds Martinez. I don't know how he's so high up in the pitch, but he's always high up in the pitch. And I think that's a characteristic of Inter's play. He finds Martinez to make it 1-0 and Inter are in dreamland. And that's quickly followed up with another goal, the penalty, which is won by Martinez again. He was an injury doubt for a long period. Given that he sustained the injury in the first leg, there was serious doubts of if he would make it. And he did, and he had his influence on the game. The first half was one that was, I think, I would say 50-50, but Inter Milan could capitalize on their moments. They were much better at springing past that high line of Barcelona, which caused them a lot of issues in the first leg. This time they dealt with it early and often, and it seemed like they would have the winning formula to see out this game. 2-0 at halftime. I think a lot of us were thinking, you know, it's game over, Barcelona. You've tried, it's just not your year. But Barcelona did not have that in their mindset. They do not have that in their mindset, in their mind state, in any element of thoughts, because they came out from that halftime break with a vengeance, with a vigor, and a brilliant goal. Both fullbacks contributed to it. Martin, Eric Garcia, brilliant work. Garcia with an absolutely stunning volley. You do not expect that from your right back, who's also can play centre back. You just don't expect that, but that is exactly what we got. We were treated with an absolutely sublime finish, and that motivated Barcelona to know that they can get back into the game. Martin again was the reason that they got the equaliser. Brilliant cross from him. He finds Dani, who puts the ball in the back of the net. A brilliant header, not the kind of goal that you expect from Olmo, who had a really good game actually, but he was lurking at the back post, and that is a poacher's finish. 2-2. Barcelona were looking like the only team who was going to get that third goal, and that third goal they did. Rafinha, his first strike was saved by Sommer. The second one lands directly back at him, and he finishes it, showing his quality. I think it was 13 in 14 games, if I'm not mistaken, in the Champions League. Has been an absolute phenom this year and has led Barcelona to the semi-finals with his performances alongside the rest of the front three. And it looked like Barcelona had come and done the unthinkable. They had snatched victories from the jaws, and they were looking like they were going to be riding into the Champions League final in Munich. However, in the dying embers of the game, Acerbi would come up with an equaliser of epic proportions. Barcelona was screaming for a foul on Martin. He went down too easy, lost the ball. Brilliant work from Dumfries once again, and Acerbi is there. Finish off the goal. Brilliant finish from the centre-back, who was high up the pitch. Inzaghi had pushed him up the pitch to try and get a focal point, and it worked to absolute perfection. But the finish from him, sensational. Absolutely sensational finish. 3-3. We go into extra time. We don't know where the winner's coming from. It's a highly pressured game that will be decided in one special moment, and that's what we got. Frattesi with an beautiful goal, wonderful teamwork down the wing, gets it into the box. He actually starts with his finish, which leads the defender to falling to the ground, giving him a perfect angle to finish off the fourth goal of the game for Inter Milan and to give them the win. The rest of the game, Barcelona did push. Yamal had a number of opportunities, none that I would say were overly clear-cut, but disappointing for Barcelona, definitely with getting themselves back into the tie. But one of the things that they need to work on is that defense is not good enough. Yes, an attack like they have can get them to Champions League finals, can potentially allow them to win Champions Leagues, but it's going to be a lot more difficult if you can't defend, if you can't keep teams out, if you're playing such a high line, you have a lot of an advantage from doing so, but you also need to think about the disadvantages. I'm going to focus on the winners now. Inter Milan, they deserve it. They are very, very well trained. A couple of things which caught my eye is how flustered they got when Barcelona were working themselves back into the game. They gave the ball away in midfield way too often and ruined a lot of their hard work. Very disappointing to see from that standpoint, but they showed a fight, a determination. Same for Barcelona. The fight and determination was something to be proud of. And for me, Inter Milan will go into the Champions League final with a very, very good chance of winning it. It will be PSG or Arsenal next. Guys, I want to hear your thoughts, your play of the game, what you thought of the game. An epic game. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. It's been EDA. Peace.